Hi, everyone, and welcome to Project Candor. I'm your host, Jeanne Anderson. Each week, I sit down with people from all walks of life, creators, leaders, dreamers, and everyday folk who've experienced something worth sharing. Here, it's not about fame or headlines. It's about real moments, the ones that surprise us, challenge us, and sometimes even change us. Because at its heart, Project Candor is where ordinary people share unexpected stories. Today, I am thrilled to welcome my guest, Beverly Howard. Beverly Howard is a certified world-class speaking coach, a distinguished Toastmaster, and retired civil servant with the U.S. Coast Guard. She helps professionals and entrepreneurs turn their voice into their greatest asset. Her creative journey began in the arts as an assistant director, stage manager, and production assistant in television, theater, and short films. Beverly, welcome to Project Candor. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You are more than welcome. I have come to know you over the past few months, and I really enjoy talking with you. Now, I'm not going to say that I know your stories, two truths and a lie. We'll get to them later. But I have learned a lot about you, and you're just a fascinating person, just totally fascinating. So let me ask you a few questions, or do you want to say something about yourself?
I think that when you ask the questions, we're going to find out so much about me. People are going to want to not know about me. So no.
I don't think that'll happen. It'll just make them want to know more. So what inspired you to become a certified world-class speaking coach, Beverly?
It happened by mistake. It wasn't something that I was looking to do. I know a friend who belonged to Toastmasters. And as you mentioned in my opening, that I used to be in the arts. So in 1998, I decided to find something new to do, something different to do with my life. So I walked into a Toastmasters club. I came as a guest, and what I learned from just being a guest, I decided I want to be a member of this club. And the reason why is because even though I didn't speak, you have speakers, you have impromptu speaking, you have evaluations. What I learned from the most was the evaluations. And because I was learning from the evaluations, I decided this is where I need to be, because even not being a member, I can still learn. So what happened years later, so like I said, I started in 1998. I happened to be at a conference, and the world champion of public speaking, 1999 world champion, Craig Valentine, was the speaker. And I had never heard of him before. I heard of the world champions, but I had never heard him speak. And when I saw him command the stage, there was almost 300 of us in the conference. And I had my camcorder, being, the producer that I am, and I'm recording everything. And I'm standing on the chairs. He had everyone standing up. He had everyone repeating after him. And he just did so many things. At the end, or before he ended his talk, he invited, you know how sometimes people, when they're speakers, they'll hold up something and say, "Who wants this?"
Oh, right. Yeah.
So he did
Everybody
that.
runs.
Yeah. And I said, wait a minute, let me start running. So I ran all the way from the other part of the conference room. And by the time I got there, someone else snatched it. And I'm like, oh. So I didn't get it. At the end of his talk, I went to him. I said, listen, I know that you offered to sell this product. I want to know, is this going to be one of those products that I just sit on the bookshelf and collect dust? And he says, I guarantee you it will not be that type of a program. And he was true to life. And I finished that program. I enrolled in his certification with the World Champions, world-class public speaking coach. And I've ordered and been with him ever since. So it just was one of those things where I was a mentor to my Toastmaster members, but by this time I was able to learn and immerse myself into public speaking and learning the art of public speaking so that while I'm being a mentor, I can start coaching and I know what I'm talking about. So again, long story short, back to your question.
No, that's fantastic.
It's like,
yeah.
It was by accident. It wasn't something that I planned, and it was the best thing that I've done in my life.
Do you think that was a turning point in your life when you went to that conference?
It was, because I used to listen to, as a coach now, I will listen to the world champions and see what it is that they're doing, watch them, see how they move the stage and so forth and so on. But for whatever reason, I had never seen him before. And I think that was a blessing for me, and that had I seen him, it would have been some bias. But because he was able to command the stage in which he did and just do all of the things that he illustrated, I said, that's the type of coach I want to be. That's the type of speaker I want to be. And yeah, so that was a turning point, one of many turning points in my life.
Oh, that's fantastic. So that sort of leads into the next question I was going to ask about. What you see so many speakers, right? So I think I heard of Zig Ziglar and, Tony Robbins. So what sets you apart from other speaking coaches or speaker coaches?
I like to say what sets me apart is my arts, being a part of the arts. When I am looking at a speaker, I'm looking at how do they move across the stage, which is something that we do in theater where you're blocking the different moves. And so I think using my production, being a producer on television and short films, and using my acting, and even being a dancer, all of the different things that I'm able to use that most other coaches can't do or they don't really incorporate. So one of the things that I do when I'm coaching people in Toastmasters to become world champions of public speaking, whenever they get to that stage of world championships, so there are different levels that you have to go to. And one of my clients in 2012, I got my certification in 2010. So in 2012, I helped him to get to that world championship stage. So he won in the semifinals, and then he had to speak to almost 2,000 people from around the world who came to Florida, Orlando, Florida, for this convention. So what I was able to do was to put him on the stage, which is something that a lot of people, if you haven't been accustomed to being on the stage and knowing what to expect. So I told him, walk the stage, fill the stage out, look out at your audience. Even though there was no one there, just look out. And I told him the secret sauce to being able to be on that stage is when the lights come up and it's time for you to deliver that speech, you're not going to see anyone in the audience. You're going to see those lights. Don't worry, because a lot of speakers, they get nervous because there's so many people, there's so many eyes on us. And I said, let's eliminate that right away. And just know that when those lights come up, you're not going to see anyone. You can see through the lights, and it's just so hard. And that's one thing that I learned being an actor and, feeling the comfort of being able to be on the stage and knowing that I don't have to be nervous. So I think
that's awesome.
I
thought you were going to say the secret sauce was when the lights come up, don't throw up.
Oh God, yes. Don't do that either. There are some stories about speakers who every time before they give a talk, they have to throw up. We can leave that part out.
Yeah, I've heard of that about singers too.
Yeah. I mean, that nervous energy is out of control. Yes, but no, it's just don't worry about it. Just relax and do what you plan to do.
Well, you're naturally talking about your TV, film, and theater influencing your coaching by talking about moving around on the stage. I guess it's normal in theater to have marks you stand on. So to make it more interesting, are you saying that's how you would run your talks, is to be able to say move from left stage to right stage and move forward when you've got a point? Is that what you are kind of alluding to?
You're close. And what I learned, and not just from Craig Valentine, my coach, I learned just from experience. And it just so happens that Craig and I are both Pisceans. He's March 4th,
okay.
I'm March 18th. It must be, the way that our minds work. But what I learned, when you're talking in scenes. It's the same way with if you're doing a short film or whatever, movies, whatever, it's in scenes. So when I'm coaching someone and the opening is a scene, they're different in the body. You have scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, however many scenes there are based on the amount of time that you have. So I always coach people to move where the words take you. Say, for instance, if someone says, well, I'm standing on line, you're not going to move. And then I took one step, you take a step. So you're going to take the step forward. So it's all about the words dictating what it is. And also the scenes will tell you where you need to be on the stage.
Okay. When you say standing on, what was that word you used again? Standing on line or lion?
Yeah, like on a line. You're standing on line.
On a line.
Say you're in Starbucks and you're waiting online.
Oh, okay.
And depending on what your story is, then you'll make that move when it's time to take that next step.
Okay. So what lights you up about what you do? I mean, it sounds like you're already saying that you love training people and helping them and seeing them be successful. But what else do you say just makes you excited about this particular profession?
You said it. You said it exactly. And that it's not about me. It's about the people that I'm helping to be the best that they can be, the best that they want to be. One of my first clients after I got certified, he told me that he was disappointed that he didn't make it to the world stage. He made it 3 levels before the world stage, but he felt that he disappointed me because I'm the coach and he didn't get there. So I told him, I said, listen, you have done some amazing work. People, after he competed and won it and came in second at the district level, they were coming to him and telling him how confident he looked on stage. They were saying how much his speech impacted them. They were telling him, and there were 300 people in this conference, almost 300 people, and he was able to be someone that prior to coaching, he could never be. So for me, I get joy out of seeing the transformation from where they started to where they end up. And that's all I need. I can't think of any other thing that brings me more joy than seeing other people get to their goal. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I'm sure people have felt that way about you watching you become a world-class speaker as well, or world-class speaker. Yeah, I got it right. I was trying to, this is unusual for me because I didn't know people got accolades for standing on the stage and speaking. I know it's a difficult thing to do, but I didn't know there were certifications and that, you got a lot of recognition for that. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And the thing is, you can have coaches who aren't certified. It was something that I needed so that I can have some tools to use when I'm coaching people. There are many coaches who are not certified, and that's fine. And I know that some of the things that I do with my clients, other coaches don't do. So it doesn't really matter about the certification.
Well, I think it's still a great accomplishment. I know you were in the Coast Guard as a civil servant, and did that prepare you for being a leader and a communicator that you are today?
Yes, yes, and yes. I started working for the Coast Guard in 1986. I was 21 years old. And at I think I was around 25, I was trained to be a total quality management specialist. And
Right.
that required me to facilitate meetings with high ranking Coast Guardsmen and low ranking Coast Guardsmen. And we would bring everyone together in a room. We would set the ground rules. There's no ranking here. Everyone is, one and one. Everybody's on the same accord. And I was able to make sure to facilitate it to where no one felt that they were not being heard. And because of that training, I was able to utilize that in order to build up my leadership skills, my communication skills. And in another area, I was equal employment opportunity specialist. And whenever people had grievances between supervisors and employees, I was the person who's interviewing everyone, get the two parties together and trying to figure out how can we make this better. And again, being young and being in these positions, I couldn't act like I'm not capable of doing it. I had to actually do the work, and it just something that I had to pull out of myself and use in order to show that I don't have time to be afraid. I don't have time to not be able to communicate well. I have to meet the task and make sure that everyone comes together and we get the outcome that's the best for everyone. But
Okay.
outside
You
of
just did it. You just did it. Just like Nike, just do it. And
just
then I'm
did.
laughing when I hear you talking because everybody talks about the imposter syndrome and you just kind of nailed it in the 90s without knowing the term that they were going to come up with.
Yes.
You were just doing it because you had to do it.
And even speaking, whenever I joined Toastmasters in 98, my boss at the time was happy. He said, "Congratulations, you're a great leader, you're a great communicator." Yes. And what I found from in the people that I coach, that if you're a Toastmaster and you put it on your resume, that you will get brownie points. When people see that you're a Toastmaster, they automatically assume that you're a great speaker and you're a great leader.
Very true, but that is probably because that is a hard thing to do. I went to one of those seminars to find out how to be one, and I was just like, I'm not sure if I could do this.
Yes, but at the same time, whenever people put it on there, there's one person that I know that only joined Toastmasters, put it on her resume, never gave one speech, but that's all they talked about in the interview. "Oh, you're a Toastmaster." That
Oh
was
my
it.
goodness.
So it's just one of those situations where if you're not there yet, if you stick to the course, you're going to get there. So
Oh, very
that's
good.
one, yeah, that's one thing I always encourage even young adults, which I've been working with for the past couple of years, and letting them know, make sure you put that on your resume.
Okay. Well, this is sort of out of left field. This is not anything you and I have talked about, but as you were speaking about youth, do you think it's important for youth to learn speaking skills? Because a lot of people are not teaching that in schools. I don't know what they're teaching in schools, but don't get me started on that. But speaking skills, it seems like it should be important for youth today.
It really is. It is 100% important. The first time I spoke was in, what is it called? IS. It's like junior high school. That's what it was when I was going
Oh,
in
okay.
7th grade. So we had to do show and tell. Most of the time, that's when kids first start speaking. Tell us about your vacation. Tell us about this. So I remember speaking for the first time, and we had this fish called tiger fish, and big old fish. And I took pictures of it, and I was telling all of the classmates about it, and everyone was so excited. They wanted to see the pictures. They never heard of it. So my first experience wasn't a terrible one because it was on a topic that was interesting to my audience. But whereas other students might have a bad experience and they decide, I don't ever want to speak again. This is why I think it's important so that whenever you're encouraged to speak and to develop this skill, which speaking is, that you don't just let yourself just go without people understanding or people want to hear you. So you just go with it. Like you said, just do it. You just do it and don't worry. And we could go into a whole thing about what people worry about. But just,
that's true,
it's really, it's really important that young adults.
Young people learn this.
I mean.
I think so too. I think if I could look back and say in one of my classes, if they had something like that, I would have probably taken the class. Just because you get scared in front of your peers and you get scared in front of teachers even, and you just like to be able to know how to project a little bit better and communicate better. I had to learn it when I was in the Navy too. So, it would have been nice to know. Hey, so that takes us to the next transition of our show here.
Okay.
It's been great getting to know you, Beverly, but now it's time to uncover some of your unexpected stories.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite parts of the show. We're going to play 2 truths and a lie.
Okay.
So here's how it works. I'll read each headline and then I'll take my best guess at which one's the lie. After that, we'll deep dive into your stories, the stories behind them, because you're going to have to tell us about them and see where the truth really lies.
Okay.
So, all righty here. Let me bring up my slide here. All right, let's bring up Ship's Log and play 2 truths and a lie with Beverly Howard. So number 1 that you gave me was one normal day at your Coast Guard job. Nelson Mandela and wife Minnie stopped by. Later that same day, Harry Belafonte stopped in and everyone sang Day-O, the Banana Boat song. That is quite a day.
It was.
Number 2, innocently, Beverly rode across the Verrazano Bridge from Brooklyn to Staten Island in a burning car. It only stopped when the toll booth worker came running after her car with a fire extinguisher. Number 3, and I love this headline, as a hip-hop dancer, Beverly was cast as a principal dancer in one of Kwame's music videos. Did I say that correct?
Yes, Kwame. Yes.
At the last minute, she was told to strip down and dance in her undergarments for the recording. That sounds absolutely fantastic. I want to hear more about it. So first of all, I'm going to guess that number 2, that you did not drive in a burning car. I don't know how anybody could not know their car was on fire. So that's my guess for the lie. I don't know if I'm right or not, but you'll tell us. So start with number 1. What's that all about?
Should I tell you whether you're right or not, or just tell you the story?
Not till the end.
Okay.
Let's tell the story.
All right.
Because actually the listeners might want to guess too. They might listen to you and pick one of their own that they think's the lie.
Okay. So number 1, Nelson Mandela had been in prison for 27 years, I believe. And he came to New York to go to Yankee Stadium to speak to the New Yorkers. But prior to getting there, he stopped him at my job, which is a location where it's by the water, safe, no worries. So he gets there and they had dinner. It was him and an entourage. Harry Belafonte, Dick Gregory, Spike Lee was there. And so they set up a dinner. He slept, got some rest, ate dinner. But while he was resting and food was being prepared, Harry Belafonte came with and sang and serenaded with me and my coworkers singing Day-O. Day-O, Day-O, daylight come.
Oh, wow.
So that was that.
Wow, that's a day to remember for sure.
Yes. And the caveat to that was whenever Nelson Mandela and Winnie were leaving the building, he was so weak that he could barely raise his hand to say hello to us. So we didn't get to interact with him, but he was really, really, really weak. But when you saw him at Yankee Stadium, you would have never known that that weak person had just left our office.
Oh,
So
wow.
number 2.
Wow, that's going so fast. I just like, I'm going to ask you a question about that.
Oh, go ahead. Ask me a question.
Is Harry Belafonte as good looking in person as he is on
Oh,
the stage?
yes. It was just so much fun. And because it was a bunch of us, his arms were around me. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll never forget.
like
I wish
that.
I had pictures. But yes.
Oh, that would be cool. So then Nelson Mandela, for those people that don't know, what he was getting out of prison and getting out of South Africa.
Yeah.
And so what was that like? He came to Yankee Stadium. I don't remember that Yankee Stadium speech.
I believe
but
he
that
was 71 years old, and he had just gotten out of prison, came to New York, and just spoke to thousands of people in Yankee Stadium.
That's so wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we'll go to 2. Sorry.
Okay. So number 2, prior to we're on the Verrazano Bridge. I'm the passenger. My boyfriend at the time was driving. And I noticed halfway through that we were in the right lane, and it's a 3 lanes bridge. We were on the right lane, and everyone else was in the left lane. It was just us in this one lane. And I couldn't understand what is going on. I'm looking around trying to figure out what's happening. And when we got to the toll booth, we were met with a fire extinguisher and told to get out of the car. And we get out of the car, raise the roof, the trunk. Is that what that thing is called? I don't know nothing about cars. So we raise it up.
The hood or the trunk?
The hood.
The front? Okay.
We raise the hood and we see sparks coming. But what happened prior to this is on my way from Staten Island to Brooklyn, the fire actually happened on my way there. So I wasn't expecting there to be a fire going back. When I went into Brooklyn,
you got in the same car that was on fire on the other?
Because I went to a drive. I stopped at a gas station and I said, listen, this is what's going on. The guy, I can fix it. I got it. So he put some kind of something on it. And so I'm thinking I'm safe. The car is good. Charged me $20.
He put a Band-Aid on it?
He said that he fixed it. So now here we are. I meet my boyfriend in Brooklyn. I said, look, I'm not driving this car. You're driving. While we're driving, he sees the sparks coming from underneath the hood, but he didn't tell me because he didn't want to alarm me.
Oh, and right. Just let you burn up.
Yeah. So that's why whenever I see all the cars over there, he understood, but he would not tell me. But luckily, by the time we got to the bridge, it hadn't been inflamed. So we just pulled over to the side, let it cool down because I didn't live too far from the bridge. And once it cooled down, then we drove the car to the house and parked it.
Were y'all like really broke at that point in time in your life?
No, and it wasn't even my car. That's another story. Every time I got
do not get in known burning cars.
It wasn't supposed to be burning. I'm telling you, the man told me he fixed it. Okay. So I said, okay.
Did you know that man?
I was like, oh my God, this man lied to me. So he put some kind of punk wires. I don't know what the heck he put on there, but it didn't, it just burnt all over again.
Okay. So maybe I'm going to be wrong, but anyway. Mm-hmm. All right. Number 3, this one's crazy. And tell us all about that.
Okay. So I went to the audition. They tell us, on the day of, come in dressed in your clothes for the club because during the scene, we're going to be dancing in the club and whatnot. So I came, I had my little mini dress on, my little mini green Gap dress. I had my shoes and whatnot. And we waited hours to get to the part where we're going to be performing because in music videos, they just switch out people. So one group will do this part, then you bring in more people to do the next part. So before we went in, we were told that, well, the other group just finished that part. So this is the part you guys are going to have to strip to your underwear because the bar has just been robbed and everyone had to strip to their underwear. And I said,
what? In the video?
In the
bar had been
video.
robbed, not in real life.
And
Okay.
yeah, in the video. So that scene in the video, this is where they were. And I'm like, oh, God, okay, my grandmother's going to see this. What am I going to do? This is not good. So what I decided to do, since I was somewhat prepared, I had my biker top and then I had my biker pants underneath my little dress. So I stripped down to just that and the shoes that I wore and went ahead and performed.
Wow. Well, at least you had underwear on. That was the question I was going to ask you. What if you had
Yes,
come
we
that
had to
day and said, it was hot, so I just kind of just limited my clothing?
No. And the thing is, they said, well, we can give you boxers. They, like boxer shorts if you don't have. And I said, okay, I'm pretty much prepared. But I never auditioned for another video again after that because I didn't want to ever be put in the position where I would have to decide to not wear clothes because I was hired, so to speak, to do a music video where I'm dancing because that's what I did.
I'm going to try to bring it up here when we do the editing and put it up so people can see it. So it's really interesting picture. So that's why I picked two because I can't believe you couldn't tell you were in a burning car. So tell me, which one is the lie?
The lie is...
We'll play Jeopardy.
The last one. I said I was a principal dancer, but I was in fact an extra.
Okay.
So now when you're a principal dancer, you're the one that he's right next to. I have never found this video. I don't know where it is, but you can see me behind the screens. And if you know how my body is shaped, which you'll see in the picture, you can, pick me out. But the lie is I wasn't a principal dancer. I was an extra in the video.
Yeah, that's still good though to be there. But
everything
also,
else was true.
Stripping down to nothing. I don't know. I would have said, never mind.
I mean, I was okay with it because when I'm taking dance classes, that's the way I dance anyway. I dressed anyway. So it wasn't a terrible thing. It wasn't what I signed up for. And I said, by that time, during that time, most women in music videos were not wearing clothes. And I said, you know what? It's time for me to really not audition anymore. I don't care about doing any music videos. This is it. I'm done.
What time period was that they weren't wearing clothes?
I think that was 90. Oh, yes. If you look at the 90s, early 90s, all the women are wearing bikinis and, next to nothing.
Well, that's clothes.
That's not
clothes. That's still clothes. It's skimpy.
For me, yes.
It's
so
what it's called.
I wasn't going for the skimpy.
Now they just walk around with their underwear on as a normal outfit.
Yeah.
There's kids walking around here in my neighborhood, and I think they're pajamas. I really think they're pajamas.
They are. Yes.
And then some things are just underwear. I can't figure out why that look is even appealing. First of all, I do not want to see any men's dirty drawers. So I don't want to see girls walking around with underwear hanging out either. But anyway,
that's the
another generation.
That's the world we live in now. Yes.
Yeah. But if you go back, there's things that I did when I was growing up in that time frame that I thought was okay. But now I listen to it and I think, what? And I see pictures. I'm like, what in the world? Like we did that. Remember that old crazy Nair when you shave your legs with some lotion that's supposed to remove your hair?
Yes.
That does not work. I don't know.
I know.
It was a waste of money, but and it stunk too. But
it did. Yes,
they would have that commercial about who wears short shirts, for gosh sakes, I saw some of the shorts we used to wear. I saw pictures of me in shorts. I was like, what? that's indecent. And my dad was a preacher. What in the world? Anyway.
And he got away with that? He let you get away with that?
Yeah, apparently. Maybe he didn't know. I mean, well, he didn't pay attention. He was busy. He was a busy preacher. Anyway, well, we're coming to the close of the show. And so I just wanted to say thank you very much. And it has definitely, we thank you so much for sharing your story and the unexpected moments with us. It's been such a joy having you on Project Candor. I would like to show your links and say how people can get in touch with you. Because, I mean, after listening to you, I know they do want to, probably get to know you better. So let me share my screen again. And these links will be in the transcript as well, so they can get in touch with you. But I'll let you talk through them and say if you have anything else you want to say.
Yes. I just wanted to say, as you putting it up, is you can reach me on social media. I'm on LinkedIn, and the link will be shown on the screen. And I also, if you would like to talk to me and just book a session with me, high impact speaker strategy session, the link is also going to be provided. And in that session, we'll just talk about where you are in your speaking journey, map out a plan that you can implement in order to get to the next step and see if we can work together. And you can also go to my website and find out more about what's going on. But those are the 3 ways to get in touch with me.
Thank you so much again for being on the show. And to everyone listening, thanks for spending this time with us. Remember, Project Candor is where ordinary people share unexpected stories. Please reach out to Beverly. I'm sure she'll love talking with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.